Yo, what's up, guys? Damnation-n-Hellfire here, and tonight we got Marian, and we got Vikes, and we got Ross.
Good evening.
So we're gonna jump right into it today because right about 10 minutes before we went live, I got a call and said, "Hey, when you're done your show, can you come into work?" So so I get to get done the show and run to work. So yeah, we're gonna hit it and get it. So let me start screen sharing. We are on episode 37 here on April 19th of 2018. And we got some TLCs going on. First up we got an Abyssal Invasion campaign.
And I can talk about this one here. And we have this starts off this is also going to be, you're going to use your fang tooths again. So you're going to break those out for prize pack 1. You're going to earn the 1-day Conquest Yard token times 2, and also the KB 1 kinetic buffer. Prize pack 2, you're going to pick up a 7-day Conquest Yard build token. You're going to get the penetrative overlay, 1-day structure build token, and a 2-day structure build token. Prize pack 3, you're going to pick up 1-day Conquest Yard build token times 3. And the, I guess it's the DTR transformer, and also the unstoppable magnetic zone. And this will run Wednesday, April 18th at 1:05 PDT time till Wednesday, April 25th at noon PDT.
A great thing about this too is you actually don't have to use your fang tooths. I actually autoed the whole thing using my hunters. I went through autoed prize pack 1 and prize pack 2 because that was the only ones I had to worry about. And like I was able to auto both prize packs with my hunters and still had plenty of health left on them.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm telling a little bit of a fib. What I did was in my 5th spot, I had my prototype seeker in my 5th spot, and I ran that until it died, I think, halfway through prize pack 2, and then I just flopped it out for my 5th hunter that was at full health and just went through and finished it. And still had tons of health left on my hunters.
Okay. I wonder.
Yeah, a very good campaign for people who don't have their Conqueror Yard done yet and want to get into it. I mean, you get, what is it, 12 days worth of tokens there?
Yeah, I mean, that's primarily what it's for. Well, that penetrative overlays are a really good special. And so that's really going to, I mean, these things are going to be, you want them if you don't have them.
Anybody who looked at the unstable magnetic zone and thought, hey, that's a good special and it reduces all that splash and I'm going to put it in my base, yeah, don't bother. It's I had it in mind for a couple days and I'm like, yeah, this thing's shit. I took it out fairly quickly. And I'm pretty sure that's been the general consensus of everyone. It's one of those things that we have in the game sometimes that looks really good on paper, but when you actually put it into practice, you're like, oh my gosh, this is horrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in theory, it was good, and paper, yeah. It just doesn't work out very well.
No,
it opens you up to too many other things.
Then next up, we got my personal favorite, March to War. Of course, prize pack 1, you get your siege reloader, and then you get 25,000 VXP eviscerator tokens. Next prize pack, you get your Chaos Chain Gun, one of probably the best things in this whole campaign, and you get another 25,000 VXP eviscerator token. And next prize pack, you get the kinetic motion cannon, the big one that goes on top of your outpost. And hey, guess what? You get a 25,000 VXP for eviscerators. Imagine that. And then last but not least, you have your mastery run throughs, and you will get up to 5 eviscerator hulls. You will get 15 days worth of Conqueror build tokens. Best freaking thing about this whole campaign. And then, hey, look at that. You'll get more Eviscerator VXP tokens. Yeah, this was like, I don't know what, the 4th or 5th time we've had this. It's always one of my favorites. I should put it this way. The prizes are my favorites. The campaign itself is not. I'm so freaking tired of driving these targets with my fang tooths. I'm just sick of driving fang tooths in general. We've had so many TLCs that involved thing too. So I would like to see him update this and maybe switch it over to like Hydra and Buck targets. You know, you can even keep the prize packs the same if you want to. Although, quite honestly, I could probably skull 16 eviscerators, even though I can only have 5. So at some point, I would like to see not having to mess with the other 3 prize packs and just go straight to the mastery round. There has to be some kind of check that they can put in. Like if you have 20 of those VXP tokens, you should be able to go straight to the mastery round. But I mean, I don't know. But I mean, yeah, it's good campaign for those who are, you know, those 15 days worth of Conqueror tokens are great. And even if you can't get to the mastery round, just the Chaos Chain Gun for your guard is like a big upgrade from anything you might currently have. And of course, this campaign started today at 1:05 p.m. Actually, yesterday, sorry, at 1:05 p.m. And it'll run till Wednesday, April 25th at noon, Kickside time. Next up, we had a flashback for the Hunger campaign. Berean, you want to talk about this?
Well, you know, the first time they offered this, I really was not set up that well with fleets. This is a pretty much I mean, it is an older campaign. This was their radioactive entry into a lot of their Conqueror holes back with the Tier 6. It comments that it's the garrison targets for targets 1, 2, 3, and 5, and then you have actual base hits for 4, 6, and 7. The thing about this was that really odd garrison targets that were designed for the icebreaker fleets, where you get basically chased down by some it looks to be like some Kodiaks and stuff like that, but instead of these heavy duty missiles, they're just like hammering you with stuff, eating you alive. Personally, and right before we came on the show, I went ahead and tried it with the upgraded technologies that we have now compared to when this TLC was released. It does go through a whole lot easier with the, you know, with power creep. It just happens that way. And MSC just laughed at the base hit on it. It's just amazing. But honestly, when you look at the big picture, the first tier radioactive upgrade is for your radioactive turrets, which a lot of people don't run a lot of the radioactive turrets. If you do, that first prize could be helpful to you. In my personal opinion, though, when you look at the incinerator compared to what's in there for base defenses these days, it's not going to hold up that well. So, you know, honestly, the first prize pack could be helpful if you have radioactive turrets. As far as for the rest of it, if you're just really bored and want a new shiny pretty in your dock because you didn't get 700,000 new shiny things this past raid, go ahead and just mess with it. But my personal view is I think it's just going to be a waste of time.
I don't know. To a certain degree, I agree, and to a certain degree, I disagree. Like the radium reserves is amazing. It gives you 40% radioactive reload, and pretty much most people run a glacial launcher in their base. So the quicker you're able to put out the field from that, you know, spit out those fields from that glacial launcher, the better that's going to help your defense. And same with anybody who, like, I know I have at least 1 cannibal Wendigo in my base, maybe 2, I can't remember, just for the effect. So the more often that thing reloads and I can pop that effect off, the better off I am. The phlogiston launcher, yeah, it's crap. It's total crap. But I would say that people who aren't doing bounty and might want to get into bounty, some of the bases that I've seen in bounty, incinerators will get you in. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean,
that is true. That is true.
I was gonna say, I'm sure anybody who's hit any of those map targets can back me up on that. Some of the bases that are in there, those incinerators will get you into. So, let's see. What was the next one that we had? We had the Inquisition campaign.
Yeah, I got that one. That's a Assault Fleet campaign. Their Skyfires are Phoenixes. will work well in these. I mean, your first prize pack, you get 6-day oppressor build token and 25,000 VXP oppressor token. And prize pack 2, you get another 6-day token build tokens for your incinerators and more 25,000 incinerator tokens. And the third prize pack, 6-day survivor build token and 25,000 VXP for your survivor. And in your fourth prize pack, you have 6-day liberator token and 25,000 VXP liberator VXP tokens. And your mastery prize, but you can do that 5 times. Get your Inquisitor and 6-day Inquisitor build tokens. I mean, it should be a fairly easy with your Skyfires and Phoenix fleet going through here, if I remember it right.
I would just say, like, I know there's still a lot of people that run the Muddle Missile Eviscerator in their base card, and quite honestly, if you don't have the Eviscerator, the Inquisitor is actually a good replacement for that. That can give you pretty much the same effect. And when it comes to like standing up against missiles, I think they actually have a really close deflection value, both of them against missiles. So, I mean, if you don't have the Eviscerator, it could potentially hold your place as that, and you could do a Muddle Inquisitor and take the place of the Muddle Eviscerator.
Yes, I've had bases I hit that had the Inquisitor in them, and they fire faster than the Eviscerator does. Actually.
Okay, well, there you go then. And as we all know right now, in base defense, reload is king because it's all about the death of 1,000 cuts, and the faster you get those 1,000 cuts out there, the faster you'll kill the attacker.
I think it might have more weapon slots on it.
No, I was looking at that today. They actually have the same amount of weapon slots.
Same amount?
Yeah.
I know, guys, looking at it, when I hit a base, it looked like it was firing a lot faster than the Eviscerator.
That could have been. The dude might have had it set up just specifically for reload, too.
Could have.
Yeah. Coming up, starting tomorrow, we have VXP weekend. Of course, that's going to run tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. kicks time and run till Monday, April 23rd at 9 a.m. kicks time. This is your first chance to rank your new assault fleets. You're going to have the Robot Raiders, Unidentified Raiders 55 assault style target will spawn throughout the weekend. Salvage and elite targets will not have an increase in payouts. So they're basically saying if you want bonus VXP, you got to hit either the Robot Raider or the top end target, which I thought was kind of crappy of them, but whatever.
Well, and especially that these are the fleets that people are going to be ranking are the ones that would have had the option to hit map targets. It's not like people are loaded up with Conqueror hulls without Conqueror tokens. I mean, it would have been ideal. And so, yeah, I that's kind of a stick in the side,
Yeah, it is.
It's always been there. So, just take it away when in fact it could be helpful. But it is what it is.
Another thing I will say is when it comes to people having Conqueror tokens stacked up, speak for yourself, buddy. I never remember to make those damn things. So the Unidentified Raider 105 assault style target is only going to spawn. As always, the top target only spawns from 9 a.m. Kicks time Friday to Saturday 9 p.m. kicks time. That target is the preview of what we may encounter next event cycle. You cannot retreat from this target. So it's either go in and kill it or go in and die. Most likely the second case will be the scenario because I don't know too many people who are going to have fully built Mana Core fleets at this point. However, if you do destroy the target, you will get the 3 Defender class tokens of 10k each. So, I mean, it might be feasible to, even if you want to stock up on these, to go and take Phoenixes or Skyfires in and farm the targets for tokens. We won't know how feasible that is until we actually see the targets, but it is a possibility. So, and nicely of kicks, they actually did go into a description of the targets. This is the first time I think they've ever done that with these VXP targets. So that was a plus side. There, one of the new features is going to be turret carriers. We often joked about having turrets mounted on your boats. Guess what, kids? Careful what you talk about. The new ships, they mount powerful base defense turrets. So you must destroy the turrets before the hull itself can be targeted, and the turrets cannot be targeted by torpedoes. You will see more of these in the assault cycle targets. So, and looking on here at this picture, I'm not sure how you guys on YouTube can see, how well you guys can see it, but it looks like there is an executioner missile turret there and a scattergun turret in the back. So that goes with the damage types that we've gotten used to for this raid cycle. And so I guess by seeing that there's a turret on the boat, that confirms that countermeasures will be definitely needed for your ships. And not only that, but stuff to reduce the turret damage, like siege battery or the new assault battery that just came out, or frontline countermeasure, whichever one of those you choose to use will actually be useful for this raid. Even though it's all ships, there are buildings on the ships. So.
And I do want to kind of throw one quick thing out there as well with this, because there will be ships in the targets. If you can just put one scattergun on all of your manticores that you have up, their damage to ships does count for added VXP. You can literally double your VXP just by getting shots off on those ships.
Correct. Also, a new feature is the prototype weapons and ammo carriers. These are new enemy ships in these targets that are equipped with draconian prototype weapons. These weapons have a longer range, deal more damage, and have special effects. They're so nice they had to say special twice there. I'm not sure if he meant to word it that way or it was a typo, but I just got copy and pasted. So either way, these weapons have a limited supply of ammunition, as you can see there by the 3 bullets above them. And it looks like you got Kodiaks and you got interceptors. And then to go with them, you have the ammo loader prototype. That when prototype weapons run out of ammunition, they are reloaded by a draconian ammo carrier. As long as the carrier is in combat, it will reload ships on the same map. Prioritizing fire on the ammo carriers will prevent draconians from being able to reload their prototype weapons. So apparently what they're saying is this probably you want this to be one of your primary targets, so they stop reloading these special weapons.
Right.
So I don't know. These VXP targets will be interesting. I'm glad they gave us somewhat of the explanation of how they work that allows people to go in with think about a strategy somewhat already and not just go in blind like we've had to in the past. So good deal.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they're showing that so we can go, oh my God, right now.
Well, and because we're talking about it's going to be the new raid cycle. We're not just talking about these basically, these ships that we're showing here are possibly in the next event cycle. So this is going to be our chance to see what's coming.
Mobile turret platforms. That's what's coming.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of reminds me of how a lot of blueprints, and I was seeing this on a lot of the defender hulls where they would have something listed and it would say cold snap immune, and you're sitting there going, nothing fires a cold snap from a ship. And lo and behold, now all of a sudden we have ships with turrets that potentially can fire cold snaps at us.
It would be freaking amazing if we were to see a defender hull coming up that was like that we could put in our base that could have 2 mobile turrets on it. How awesome would that be?
That'd be awesome. Yeah, if we could pick the turret even. Whoa.
Well, there's different defender hulls coming out, but they already said they're not going to be realized on damage type. On damaging, it's gonna be more on helping the other ships.
Yeah, all I know is I'm still waiting for Shroud in my base. That's all I know. Anyway, moving right along, the FM changes, or as I've come to call it, oh, geez, not this shit again. So, the 115 target, as many of you probably have noticed, is gone, no longer on the map. And lo and behold, each week, starting this week, the payout on the 111 is now going to be reduced, and it will no longer be available after the May event. So this week, the 111s are worth 130 points. Next week, they'll be worth 110,000 points. Did I say 130 million? I meant 130,000 the first time, whatever. And then week number 3, they'll be 90,000 points. So all you guys who weren't capable of doing the 117s without like a ridiculous amount of damage and have been reduced to doing the 111s, well, guess what? In 3 weeks, you're not going to be able to do the 111s anymore either because they're taking them away. So that's going to reduce you down to the 103s at that point in time, I guess, which, yeah, they don't pay out that many great points. So we have gone from trying to make the FM not a chore to the FM is suddenly becoming a bigger chore than what it's ever been, in my personal opinion. So we can allot a little time to talk about this, guys, because I'm sure this is a hot topic that everybody who watches wants to hear our thoughts and, let's face it, our complaints.
My personal opinion is, I really am not freaking out about it too bad because I just don't do it. I go down and I hit the lower targets and oh well, I won't. I like playing the game. There's great parts of the game I still enjoy. I'll do those. And the community, I just don't believe. My personal opinion is the community can't do them. The general community, not myself. I'm not willing to do them at the damage rate. I can, but I have the fleet, but it no way. That's ridiculous. So I'm not going to. I mean, but the community can't.
The 117s have become crazy. I mean, they've become a lot harder than they were to start out with, and our fleets haven't changed.
No, I mean we knew that they were going to be dialed up. I mean, we were told that we had a lesser version, but my whole thing is the only successful, what I would call successful in minimal damage, is a fleet with a Zelos behind driving behind. Well, that's really not what I was looking for in a target. I built these Inferno Dragons in hopes that they'd be beasts, not an Icebreaker 2. And this is exactly it. Then if this is going to be the target, then this is an Icebreaker 2. And no, I'm not willing to do all that again. It just won't.
Well, and the problem is, in my personal opinion, and I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The problem is not the boat. The problem is the target. Yeah. There are entirely too many projectiles in there. There are projectiles that you can't shoot down, period. And the projectiles that you get hit by, in my opinion, do way too much damage. I'm not down with, like, I went and I hit a 117 today. I did not use a Savage flag like a lot of people do. I just went in and did it with my Ice Dragons. I completed the target and I took like 3.5 hours damage. That's not acceptable for me to do for an FM target. I'm sorry. That is not acceptable for me for an FM target. Nope. If I'm coming in, I could deal with like an hour's damage for an FM target. It wouldn't be ideal, but I could live with it. Because then I could do several targets and then dock and slow repair and then go out and do more if I needed to. But 3.5 hours for one freaking target? No, that's not acceptable. I'm sorry. And like, I haven't hit a 112 lately, but the last time I hit a 112, and granted this was before the 117s were dialed up, the 112s are actually worse than the 117s. So I'm guessing they're probably about even right now. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. I guess the best way to face it. or phrase it rather. I mean, yeah, could I do like Ross and go out and do the 103s? Yeah, but you know what? I don't feel like taking fucking 5 fucking days to do my goddamn FM, man. I want to be able to get out there, bang it out in 2 or 3 hours, if that long, and be done. So I can go on and do other stuff like, the 4 TLCs we got, or the big VXP weekend we got coming up, or the bounty that we're going to have next week, or just one day I'd like to go out and find time to actually hit a freaking base, man.
Well, and I won't be able to do that long. They're taking away the 111 right here, and then so eventually I'll even be forced to hit the new version of the target. And my hopes are that the community will panic in a great freak out before that, and they'll do something. I mean.
And here's another thing that we didn't touch on the setup of the FM this week. That's even a bigger fiasco. Well, not a bigger fiasco, but just as big of a fiasco. The resistors that we can get this week were limited to redeeming 1 per week. Well, guess what? Unless there's 4 weeks between this FM and the raid, unless we have 4 weeks of FM, guess what? I'm not going to have enough resistors to equip to all my boats for my fleet for the raid. How's that? How's that for not being very good at managing and planning? Sometimes these guys get real stuff good, and I try to give them kudos for that. And then there's other times where these guys couldn't plan a birthday party for a 2-year-old, man. I mean, it's I don't get how some things can be so right and some things can be so off.
Well, I always reference back to the Canadian comedian who did the variety show. He looks like some old bearded guy, and he puts it so well. Remember, if it ain't broke, you ain't trying. Kixeye, I love your game. I really do. I really do. I've played it for years. But for God's sakes, why do I have to do 4 freaking raids every stinking month? Because you've turned the FM into another dad-blasted raid. Now you've added bounties, so now we're to 5 raids a month, not counting if we have the 5 weekends in a month. Come on, guys.
Well, I will say this. They must be trying really, really, really hard, because just about every damn thing in this game's broke. That's all.
No.
It's yeah.
The raid was, and I think the raid went pretty well.
The raid was good. Well, the raid was good.
The first hour wasn't good, but yeah, after that it got good.
I turned it to a PvE player. I did.
There you go. All right, well, let's get into covering the prizes real quick, and then we can talk a little bit about raid wrap up there at the end. I just want to make sure that I'm done by the time I need to be done. So they removed several items from the FM this week. They got rid of the Mousetrap Depth Charge, the Heavy Lance Missile, the Radiation Reflective Coating 4, Mayhem Torpedo, the Empyrean, and the Mimicus System. And oh yeah, this was my we got a little ahead of ourselves. This was the slide for when we were going to be talking about the targets in the FM, but we already did that. So, holy facepalm Batman. Prize pool 5. Let's talk about what got added there.
Right in prize pack 5, we had the Assault Battery MK COM, the COM, I believe. It's a draconian tech. It's tier 7. Weapon weight is 24%. Now this adds a penetrative, corrosive damage, 25% both. It also increases building and wall damage to 75%, and along with turret defense of 50%. So this is a huge special. I mean, this really is. This is a good one. And then we go straight into the Zinthonite armor, the D5-COM. It's also draconian tech, tier 7. It carries with it armor points of 2,250. Now this weighs 489 tons. Now this increases your penetrative and corrosive defense 18%. So that's pretty big. It's a new, and repair duration on it is 22 minutes, 30 seconds. Now these are both really, I mean, these were needed. So these are going to be needed for your your new hulls.
Yeah, the cool thing about the assault battery is it buffs not only penetrate but corrosive as well. So now, no matter which build you're going to go with on your mana cores, if you're going to go with the Scorpion build or the Lion build, aka the auto build or the missile build, you're going to be. This will be good for either one. So this is you can put this assault battery on and not have to worry. Oh my gosh, am I going to go missiles? Am I going to go corrosive? It will buff either one, so you're golden with that.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about the armor, the good and the bad. The good, you only have to claim it once. That's a good thing. The fact that it gives you resistances in both areas, penetrative and corrosive, that's a really good thing. The bad thing, it adds 22 minutes and 30 seconds repair to what's already a very long repair time hull, and the build time on it is like a day, 8 hours. So, yeah, that kind of sums up the good and the bad, in my personal opinion. I think if they would get rid of the armor points, which in turn would get rid of the repair time, I'd be okay with it. You know, if it would give you no repair, no armor, just like the charged armors did, but also give you no repair, I would be fine with that, especially because it gives you the dual resistances. Yeah, but at 90 minutes more per hull, as Cuttlefish is saying there in chat, I'm not feeling it, because you're going to take my hull from going to 3 hours repair to now it's 5.5 hours repair, or 4.5 hours repair. Sorry, my math was a little off there for a minute. I think I was possessed by the soul of Vlad when it came to math there. But yeah, it's only 4.5. It's going to be 4.5 hours repair, and across like 4 ships currently, 5 eventually when we get the flag. Yeah.
Yeah, it's even at halftime repaired for raid, it's going to be crazy.
Well, and like no Phobos is saying, well, just use one of these and not the rest sharks. But why am I going to screw myself out of 18% both damage type resistances across the board? You know, I mean, that's my personal opinion. That would be a little bit silly. Because as we all know, when you start looking at the difference in what 98% damage resistance will get you as opposed to 97% damage resistance, there's a pretty significant difference in the bar there. You know, that can be going from like I can survive 1 million points to now I can suddenly survive 2.5 million points of damage. So that 1% up in those high levels is pretty significant. So I don't know that I want to give up the extra 18% on the other damage type. So I don't know. I just think they should drop the armor value, which would get rid of the repair time, and then I would be okay with this armor.
Yeah, I mean, I was planning on going with it. I didn't pay attention to the repair duration, but I'm just thinking it's going to be a required thing to get the numbers right.
Yeah, we don't got much choice. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I know I am personally trying to talk to them about changing some things on it, but you know, sometimes it's like beating your head against a brick wall. But we'll see what happens. Then we have the resistors.
Yes, the resistors. You got the penetrative resistor, which has a tier 4.5 with a 14% total weight on it. Evade bonus plus 15. Penetrative defense plus 15% also. Combat speed 70%. Turn speed 120 and map plus 75. Then you got your corrosive resistor, which is also 14% total weight. Gives you evade bonus 15 and corrosive defense of 15%. With all the bonus and combat speeds the same, 70, 120, and 75%.
So, yeah, these are the ones I was talking about earlier. You can only claim one of each one per week. So, unless we have a 4-week FM before the raid, I'm going to have 3 boats with it and 1 boat without it. And that's just whatever. You know, I'm like, how could you not have planned this correctly? I don't understand.
I was hoping they'd make them a combined penetrative corrosive resistor. You know.
Oh, no, we can't do that. Come on now.
It's like, you know, because now it's like Do you want to go with more corrosive, or do you want to go with more penetrative?
So can't you really in fact build enough with? I mean, if you were to get one, build each ship differently,
Oh,
flip.
what the hell do I want to build each one of my boats differently for, though?
I know, but I'm just trying to think in time management and
Right.
getting them ready for the event because of this.
I myself, I don't feel like I should be having to fit one type of engine, knowing full well that I'm going to have to refit it later. I'm being penalized for their ability to not plan correctly. And I get sick of being penalized for their inability to plan correctly a lot of times. So I don't know. Then we can move on to prize pool 4. Breen, are you there?
Ooh, yeah, I'm here. Couple of new little things that we've got down for prize pool 4 are definitely going to come in handy for the Chameleon. Through the raid, they were pushing when they put the added things into the prize pools. Obviously, they were really pushing the Chameleons, which from what I'm seeing, are pretty effective for the generalist, the tier 7 generalist expeditions. And these two items here in prize pool 4 are going to be perfect to go with that Chameleon fleet for those. You've got a new UAV to drop on it. Pretty quick reload, pretty quick swarm duration. Boy, I can't read tonight. Sorry, guys. Your typical penetrating damage on it. It is specific to the generalist holes, so you can't use it on your Skyfires. You can't use it on any of your old carrier items if you're even still using any of them.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding was this wasn't so much for like expedition type stuff as it was for using the generalist and the new raid targets coming up and like the lower end raid targets.
And I mean, it's obviously going to be helpful in that as well. I don't know that too many people will try the Chameleon, beings that I would say a good chunk of folks got the Manticores. I could be wrong. But these two items will be effective for this new raid cycle to use the generalist on the lower tiered targets. But as I say, I also see its capabilities for the generalist onlys, since I've seen a lot of people using the UAV setups for that. So, it's definitely multi-purpose items. The Assault CIC, I absolutely love it. You've got the penetration, you've got the corrosive damage bonuses, you've got UAV damage bonus, you've got bonuses to buildings and walls. Because of it being a lot of ship focus for the raid, that's a little bit of why I was leaning towards its effective use for the expeditions, because I have seen the generalist expeditions and they do have some walls and buildings. Of course, in the new raid cycle with the new turret ships, it'll obviously help with those as well.
My thing though about the expeditions, and I hate to keep coming back to this, but I'm not sure that they're meant for expeditions for the simple fact that the UAVs that people are currently using in the expeditions are ballistic based ones, and I'm not sure how effective the penetrative ones are going to be. Because damage type can make a big difference in those things.
That is very, very true.
And I'm not 100% sure. I'll be honest, I don't mess with expeditions a whole lot. But this definitely looks more like it's geared towards the raid for me, and I don't want to say, "Oh, this is good for your expeditions," and then people put these on their expeditions, and they're like, "Well, these things ain't doing a damn thing to those turrets in there, or whatever." You know what I mean?
Absolutely true. And when you add in that the Assault CIC, it does add the corrosive and penetrative defenses as well to stack up on the Chameleons.
So basically, we those millions of the tokens that we have extra. Anybody, We could try them out on the VXP targets.
Yeah, you can.
You know, I mean,
Oh, yeah. If you've got the chameleons up, you can give them a try on there. Do the quick changeover with these items. There are going to be people who are going to have that ability. You know, I'm a mid-level player. I have the chameleon. I've done nothing with it because I've been so busy with other things. I just admit it. I mean, I've got the FM, I've got the raids. I haven't had time to play with the generalists that much.
no, I haven't myself, but I was just thinking of the stockpile pile of tokens I have. I'm not into the expeditions myself. It's just not my thing, and so I have not. And I generally don't go with the generalists just because they can't hit the higher tier targets. But you know, if we're going to be limited to not even being able to build a fleet correctly for the raid, and if these will hit a raid target, and I have enough tokens to build these things, I'm going to be hitting with these.
Well, I mean, but let's be honest though. I mean, if these are, you know, you're going to be able to only use these in like the lower level targets, and you already have Phoenix or Skyfires built, why would you just not use the Phoenix or Skyfires as opposed to using these?
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Might use both these and the Skyfires.
I just don't know. You know, I just thinking of the tokens I have built up, some use. I mean, in all honesty,
I almost have a fleet of these built, but I just got to replace them with these here to try them out when the VXP comes, and you know, test them out, see how well they are against the target compared to the Phoenix, maybe, and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. They might have some kind of use in the raid, but I'm just like, if you already got Phoenixes built, I wouldn't waste my time building these. But if you don't have Phoenixes or Skyfires, this could help you out in a pinch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that was the last slide. We breezed through everything pretty quick. What do you guys want to talk about? I still have like 5 or 10 minutes before I have to go.
I wouldn't mind talking about it, and I'm not a freak out or anything like that, but the bug fixes and tunings is a list of one.
Now, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm glad you brought that up. I totally forgot to mention that. My Onyx Skin Boulder Fist is now down to normal size. They fixed that.
Yeah. There's so much wrong that needs to be fixed that they can fix. Besides,
and we're bearing with it. And we're bearing with it, you know, and we really are. And it's getting to be week after week and week after week, and we just are continuing. And then it's like if we don't, it's like it's just okay that they're broken forever. Then at one point, and I don't want to see that.
Ross, me and you be.
Hang on. I want to pause everything for 1 second. I just want to say, look, Toxic's in chat. Toxic, why are you not at work? Get to work. Okay.
Well, like Ross, me and you being alliance leaders, we don't know who's leaving. We don't know. We can't look at our list on the board where they're at. You know, it's very frustrating.
Oh, it's worse. You can't even get them to look at it. In all honesty, you know, you can take a picture, you can make a video, you can send it in showing that you are alliance leader, and you can't tell who left your alliance in the last 4 months, 5 months maybe, and
exactly.
And they'll say, well, it's not a known, and the thing. Oh, really? Well, I'm just letting you know it is known because I've been telling you for 5 months, and so those types of things are ridiculous. And when I go to look for an alliance member that says I'm getting hit, and I look for their base in my alliance locator that is on it. No, I didn't build it. They put it on there. Alliance locator. Oh, I have one person in alliance of 100. You got to be kidding me.
Exactly. It's not broken. Well, we're 2 alliance leaders at the same problem, and I know of others that have the same problem too.
It's just and they just these things just keep piling up, and they fixed the skin size. You know, the countermeasure turrets. How about that? Could be a good one. You know,
Yeah.
and
You know, one that I would like to see fixed, that it was gone for a while, but it's come back again recently, is, you know how when you look at a boat in your dock and you're looking to see what's on it, and you look at the specials and it starts rotating through like 19 different specials and you can't really see which one's actually on the damn boat?
Oh, yes, yes. I've noticed that for a while too.
that's because you're double stacking.
Yeah, well, if I double stack, my boats would perform a hell of a lot better than what they do now.
I know, right? Hey, I've sent screenshots to people before, and then I've looked at them and going, "Oh my god, look at this thing! You can't even tell what's on them."
Well, I think you've even sent me screenshots before, and I had to be like, message you back, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck is that on special slot 3? It's like a agility battery speed system thing.
Yeah, it almost looks like a badge.
Well, I mean,
You know, it's just crazy.
even adding to that, I personally sent in, video and stuff. We're dealing with the fleets. Okay, I'm putting ships into a fleet to set up the fleet to go and do something. And I just rapidly go through it. Hey, select a ship. I selected the ship. It pops up there. I launch it, and I go to hit a target, and it says, you can't hit this target because you have a disqualified hull. You have a Conqueror in your fleet. And I said, I never put a Conqueror in my fleet. But because, and I don't know who else has had this happen, you can be right in the middle of the square pointing at the Inferno Dragon that you want in your dadburn fleet, and when you click on it, it puts the Liberator that was right next to it in there.
Oh, yeah, I have that happen all the time.
Yeah. I do that, but yeah.
But thank God they fixed the Onyx Boulder Fist. Thank God they did that. Yes, that was sarcasm, just in case somebody missed it.
Well, I will say this. If the size increase of the Onyx Boulderfish changed the size of its hitbox, that was a pretty important thing to fix.
Did it change it?
I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying if it did.
Oh, I didn't think it did actually. When I was targeting, I didn't have the skin, so I couldn't confirm that. So that's why I was asking. But as the attacker, it did not appear to change the hitbox size.
Okay, well, in that case, it didn't matter then. I was just saying, though, if it did change the hitbox size, that was actually a pretty big deal.
Well, I can agree with that, definitely, because just made it easier to get shot.
But if it didn't, then it was a total real waste. I'm glad I am glad they fixed it, because it is, it was a thing. But I definitely agree there was probably higher priority things that they could have fixed.
Yeah, but on a good,
sorry.
Yeah, on the good side, I really do think that the event went relatively smooth, minus the first hour. And let's be honest, we all expect some errors in the first hour, and just we were hoping it would go in our benefit. This time it did not, and the rest of it went relatively smooth. I mean, the lag was there, not out of hand. I mean, we've had worse. The reason it had really little effect for me is just because the fleets were able to auto. Pathing seemed better for me this event. And I know that people were having some issues, but I wasn't having very many issues with the targets that I was hitting with the pathing.
I had some pathing issues with the now I'm just on the Hydra campaign. My fleet would stop at a certain spot and not move. And it wasn't because there was nothing to hit. It just would sit there and spin circles.
Right. It was targeting two different, or at least two different objects exactly the same distance apart.
Right.
Okay.
Now, I know for myself, I pretty much autoed the entire event just because of personal issues going on. That was the only way that I could really do this raid. but I was basically doing 80s, and I was doing the Buccaneer campaign, and many people had talked about. I think there had been like a minor pathing glitch that would show up every now and again in the campaign, where basically your fleet just got obliterated. I had that happen one time the entire event. But I think it was because I was on the phone, and when I went to move the screen, it clicked my boon, moved it away from everything else. So for myself personally, it went really smooth on pathing and all of that. I did see minor areas, but they were pretty minor what I saw personally through my event.
Yeah, I mean the event. I mean, actually, I mean I love the event. The event was really good. I liked the targets. I mean, there's nothing wrong with anything. It's just, the pathing every once in a while on the Hydra was just a little doubtful. I just had to go in and click it and let it go, and it was good to go.
All right, guys. Well, hey, I hate to cut things short, but I got to go get ready to go to work. So I guess that's it for tonight. We will talk to you guys next time. There should be open mic on Saturday unless things change with my work. Just stay tuned to the page and you'll be kept posted there. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, share us with everybody out there. Guys in chat, we appreciate you coming down. We appreciate your time and support. It means a lot to us. And we will check you guys next time. Later.